everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ducky World. Um, as every good teacher knows out there, we start the lesson by reviewing the previous lesson. Check what the learners remember. And my review of my previous video is that a lot of you are not sure where to apply for these jobs. I had people saying, I have tried the UAE, it's not working for me, I've been trying for China. But then I thought to just do a quick short video on where to look. How do you know where to look? My first point is the major point that most of us really do wrong, but the others are just, if you get the first point right, all the others will be things to consider after the first one has been gotten right. So yep, I'll be sharing how to know where to look in this video, just to give you more insights on how to get these jobs, to give you a bit more meat to use with the job sites that I shared in my last video. And then again, to point out again, I shared so many videos in my previous, so many job sites in my previous video. Please don't just choose one and stick to one. Spread your opportunities out there. Try, have many options, apply, use many sites to apply for these jobs. You just never know which one will come through for you. You just never know. So please try and apply in as many sites as you can. All right, now to today's lesson. I'm being a teacher. Today's session, let's talk about where to look. So the first thing to consider when you're applying for a job is which country is the least populated. Wrong to put it. Which country do the least number of teachers want to go teach? Or rather, which countries do most people want to go teach? Same point, different wording. Because if there's, for example, at the moment, I know the UAE and China, a lot of people want to go teach there. That means getting a job there is a bit difficult because jobs there are very competitive. You might find someone with your master's, 10 years of experience exploring China, and me here with my degree and maybe 5 years of experience might not necessarily match up to that person. So a lot of people want to work in these countries. So it's nice for you to just consider, where do people not want to work, and apply for jobs in those countries. You may not really target the countries, but think about that when you're applying for a job. You want to put more of your eggs in places where there's least number of people visiting there for work, and put less of your eggs in places where everyone wants to go work. So find this country, do your research, find these countries and apply for jobs, more jobs in those countries, because again, you never know. You might find yourself in the UAE with no experience, in as much as it's very competitive. I always saying it depends on your luck. Your luck can get you so much. So consider the country, know where few people are applying to, and apply to those countries. And there's so many of those places because there's so many countries in the world. Now, once you get that right, what do you look for? What else do you look for in a job? The salary ranges, the salary expectations, how much money do they pay in this particular country? Because you don't want to go to a country just because no one wants to go there. It's maybe no one wants to go there because the salary is not good enough. So consider the salary ranges of people working there, and all this information is available online. If you type in salary range for teachers in Kenya, you will get those ranges. Make sure you put expatriate. You will get those ranges. So please find out how much money are these people paying. Then you can make your decision if you want that country or a different country that's maybe paying better. Talking about salaries, they go hand in hand with the cost of living. How expensive is this country as well for you to live? If you're moving with your family, how expensive will it be for you and your family? If you're moving alone, Does that mean you have to rent a very expensive apartment? Is the housing very expensive? Is the food very expensive? Consider these things. So the salary expectations, the cost of living, these things go hand in hand. And this information again is available online. If you're targeting a country like let's say Tanzania, find out this information online because it's there. It's there. I cannot give everything to you people. I've been telling you that. What I'm doing is I'm just giving you pointers of what am I looking for now that I am ready to start an opportunity outside my country? And then consider what other benefits do these people give. For example, I know if you're an expatriate, some schools might give you flights. Some might give you two flights, like two return tickets per academic year, which is really good. That's a really good school. Some might give you one return ticket every academic year. That's also quite a good school because that means you have to be away from home for just 1 year. Some countries may give you just one return ticket for the duration of your contract. So if your contract is 3 years, you're just getting one return ticket. That means the one you take when going to that country and the one you take when going back to your home country. In between, you have to sort yourself out. That's not a very good one, but then I'll talk about that much later also. So what kind of benefits are they giving you? Do you have a housing allowance or are they giving you an accommodation? Because then that means you don't have to pay for an apartment. You don't have to pay rent. That's money that's additional to your salary. Again, the health insurance, what is it like? Does it mean it's not, is it good enough that you don't have to get into your pocket to pay for it? Or does it mean you're co-paying with your employer? Or does it mean that it's not very good, so every time I want to be taken care of health wise, I have to really chop a lot of money to go see a nice good specialist? These are things you need to find out before applying for a job, not after getting the offer, before applying for a job. Country, which is the least populated, that's where you want to go. When you get those country, now consider the one with a better pay, consider one with the lowest cost of living, and one with more benefits. I mean, the school, in this case, the school with more benefits. And then you want to narrow down your search to specific. Now you become a bit more specific to the schools that you can apply for in a certain country and schools you cannot apply for in some countries. Because, I mean, like I can give an example from Kenya. In Kenya, we have very nice schools paying teachers really well, and we have international schools that don't pay really well. All these schools are international schools in Kenya. So, up to you, like, you target the better paying one. That brings me to the last picture. I mean, my last point, that's because it's called the big picture. That's why I said big picture, the last picture. So my last point is, what's your big picture like? I like looking at things from a bigger picture. Whatever I'm doing now has to impact somehow on my future. Um, if I started off as a TA, if I'm working as I started off as a TA because I wanted at some point to become a class teacher in a really good school. And I achieved that. So I sat down, we sit down and look at the big picture. I left a job that was paying me better than my TA job to work as a TA because I knew what I wanted. Like I knew 10 years from then, I would be making more money than getting stuck in my job, getting a promotion in that place of work. Again, this varies from individual to individual. So think about your bigger picture. What do you want to achieve from your leaving your country? If you're leaving your country for the money, then yeah, you may want to look at those countries where everyone wants to go because they pay well. That's why everyone wants to go there. But then that means you're narrowing your chances of getting an opportunity. If you're looking for growth, you may want to start small in a country that doesn't pay you that much, in a country that does not give you all these nice benefits, in a country but you're just looking for that international experience because it looks good on your CV. I don't know if it makes sense here, but it's your big picture will align everything else. Whatever you're looking for now will determine where you apply. I don't know if that makes sense or if that makes sense as a point, because I believe in individualizing everything I do. Like I make a move because it's gonna impact my next few years. I do something because I'm getting something from it. It may not be an immediate benefit, but it might be a benefit I'm getting 5 years down the line. It might give me returns 10 years down the line, but I'll do it just because I'm getting something back, and that thing may not be tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I feel like I'm explaining this point so much that it may not be making sense at this point. But yeah, look at your bigger picture. I have been encouraging. I remember my very first videos to make is I was telling people, when you're looking for an opportunity outside the country, you may want to consider even those not very well paying job, because all you want is international experience. You want international experience in a good country as well. So you might get a good country, but a school that doesn't pay very well, but that's still international experience. You will say, I have worked in, for example, Kenya, I have worked in Kazakhstan, and now I'm ready to explore an opportunity in the UAE. So this widens, gives me an advantage compared to someone who's only worked in Kenya, for example, and they haven't left the country. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about when I say look at the bigger picture. What is it that you want 5 years from then? Then if whatever you want, you know what you want, then you might overlook some of these other things that I've shared, like the salary, the benefits. It may be a low paying job with not very many benefits, but in a very expensive country, but it's that experience that you get in that duration of time that will mean something in your CV, that will put you at an advantage over someone who's never left the country, if that makes sense at all. Yeah. So consider how many people want to work in that country before you go apply for it. The salary expectations, like how well do they pay in that country? That is, now you're trying to narrow down your search to specificity, to be more specific. The cost of living in the country now, maybe you got like people don't want to work in 10 countries. Choose the one with the best salaries and then choose the one with the lowest cost of living. Consider the benefits. This might vary from school to school, not country but school to school. What benefits is this school offering? What benefits is this school offering? How do they add up to my salary? Because if I am getting 2 return flights per academic year, then that means I can go home twice in an academic year without paying that cost. That means I don't have to touch my salary whenever I want to go home. So I might consider getting a job that doesn't necessarily pay me well, but I save on the flights home, especially if you're someone who really wants to keep coming home. Yeah, and then consider your bigger picture. What do you want at the end of your contract, this contract that you're applying for? Then that will really um, enable you to make a decision. So again, if you know a country where people don't want to work and you think it's a good country, again, also consider security. These are things I may not necessarily tell you here, but of course, common sense. Is it a secure country to work as well? Because you don't want to go work in a war zone, risking your life for what? So, security, top of the lists that I didn't mention just because it's a bit common sense. So, if you are working in a country where people I've not explored, there's not so many expatriates, please share these countries with me through YouTube, through LinkedIn, through Ducky World on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to share these countries with everyone who follows us, because people want to know. If you can do your own research as well, that would be really great, because I can only give you the pointers, and then you have to go sit and now use the pointers to do a bit more thorough research and find out what you want in the end. So yeah, that's about it from me today. If you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to reach out. Our Instagram account, Ducky World, yep, started running. Our Facebook account, Ducky World, and LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn account. Feel free to reach out with questions, with comments, with, I don't know, anything that you may want to share with us, anything that you feel might benefit a teacher out there. Please share it, and I'll be more than willing, more than happy to get back to everyone with that information. Again, thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a lovely week. Bye. God bless.